how to succeed in a way that feels spiritually true. 3 things you'll discover today. Why achievement without alignment feels hollow. How to redefine success through fulfillment. And what to do to reconnect with meaning. Okay, so we'll start with the former, why achievement without alignment feels hollow. And this is looking at, okay, if you do one thing a certain way, that's going to affect how you do everything in your life. So if you are achieving something, but let's say, for example, we'll use a drastic one. You're making $1 million a year, but you're selling cocaine. That means that you're taking advantage of other lost individuals. That is never going to bring you alignment. That is out of alignment for any human being, and that's just the fact. Now, I'm not saying that the people who sell cocaine are evil. I'm saying that they are out of alignment, and doing that action perpetuates their misalignment. So this is why in extreme fields like selling cocaine, you see a lot of people end up in harsh material situations because it's like, they have to be brought to rock bottom. Sometimes it's like it feels so good, but it burns so bad. Like they may inherently know in their heart they need to change, but they materially may be addicted to the validation, the status, the money of being the honcho, et cetera, right? But when you're achieving without alignment, those people, they live hard lives, right? They're always fearful of, getting caught, having someone break in, being snitched on, etc. They live very harsh lives because they're living through fear a lot of the time. And that's because you're out of alignment, right? And when there's so much fear in your life, that's just one big example. But if you can take the structure and look at your own life, right? Where are you making fear-based decisions? It could even be like going and getting a doctorate, right? It's like you didn't realize it, but out of fear or insecurity, you sought status, so you went and got the doctorate or whatever the professional label is for the degree. Nonetheless, if you can shine light on that, I'm not saying don't be a doctor. I'm not saying you made a big mistake. I'm saying, can you learn through that? Can you see what beautiful skill sets you have gotten, what accolades, what networks you're in, and how can you create a aligned career, calling, or job? How can you pivot, right? Because the way that life works is you may have been confused and you may have done certain things through that confusion. Now, those experiences, they're with you. They're not to be resented. They're not to be judged. You learn through realizing that's not who you are. And this is the difference between repenting and resenting, right? To repent is meaning that you are learning, you're changing because you see you are out of alignment. To resent is to blame others, that's weak. To repent is strong. It's like a freedom with change. It's a freedom with realizing, oh yeah, I was on the wrong course, but even me being on the wrong course led me here. So was it the wrong course, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how to redefine success through fulfillment. This is not about chasing fulfillment, and this isn't about chasing success either. But what you can understand is that the greatest success is going to have a touch of alignment, and alignment dances with fulfillment. Yeah. You see, when you redefine your identity, you redefine your worldview, you question your beliefs, your ideologies, the things that were running in the background. You see, it's kind of like, all right, if you have a sniper scope, can you go 3D and have the drone footage of the man on the hill in the ghillie suit looking through the scope, right? First of all, you have the scope and the first person of, oh yeah, I'm in the ghillie suit, I'm laying down, I'm the sniper, right? Can you realize that you're also the drone footage of the sniper? If you can live your life with that sort of awareness while being scoped in, then you're going to learn how to pivot, how to change in alignment. So you'll get the success, but it won't be riches, it'll be wealth. You see, riches is just shallow and hollow. Wealth is holistic. It's health, it's freedom psychologically, spiritually, and then it's material success and material impact. It all bridges together when you operate via the frequencies of, awareness, the frequencies of light, the frequencies of everything above courage, right? You have to initially have courage. And even on the lower vibrations, right? Maybe you're angry, maybe you're fearful, but you have to move through those. And all at the same time, you could go from fear to being fast, but that's by divine work. That's when a situation happens, whereas, right, you're in self pity, and then somehow, some way, you perform a miracle, right? You see that there's a burning car off of the edge of the highway, and then you trust your intuition. You go investigate that, and you find, oh yeah, the car is just starting to burn, and the mom, she's unconscious, and the daughter, the children are also unconscious. They were going to die and burn alive, but somehow, some way, your intuition picked that up, and you go get them out of the car, and you perform a miracle that day. That doesn't mean you're him, but all at the same time, it means you're him. And now it's kind of like, okay, you got hit with something so deep. Can you catch on to that depth, right? That's the question. Can you change your life to let that depth guide you? Because you may have a moment like that and then go back down into self-pity 6 months later. But can you learn through that entire roller coaster? That's really the question. Now, right, what to do to reconnect with meaning? And let's look at this simply, as in meaning is living a righteous life. And you can't be righteous through effort. You are righteous when you strip away your devious nature, if you will, the devious program, the diabolical that the human can be. The human, right? Lately, things have been popping up in my YouTube and they just catch my eye, like crazy stuff. The cop scenes, like human bodies being dismembered, and I don't actually see it, but it catches my curiosity because I'm like, man, humans can be like that. And I live in America, not a third world country, not I haven't been in any crazy things. I mean, one time a guy had a gun and he punched me in my mouth, but besides that, I haven't been in anything real crazy. More so, athletics have taught me pain. Like, I have a scar on my face from a gash. My nose got broken during football. I never even got it fixed. I didn't know it was broken until like years after football. Then I'm like, oh wait, when did I get that? And then I vividly can recall the moment where the guy's cleat went through my face mask on a kickoff. And yeah, now I understand. Oh yeah, that's when my nose got messed up. My pinky's sideways, stuck sideways. My pointer finger is also. So all I'm saying there is, hey, you got to go through physical hell, if you will, to learn a bit. But let's get back to the point. See, when I start talking via my memory, it's like I can lose the point. Well, hence the field of limitation. But all at the same time, I like to share stories every once in a while. So you guys understand, like, oh yeah, he is a real person. I digress. Reconnecting with meaning. It's like this subtlety of, hey, what gets me out of meaning? What am I doing that weakens me? I have the quote on the wall, and it's really like, wisdom in its simplicity is avoiding what makes you weak. If you're wise, that means you know what makes you weak. Part of life is learning how you may be attracted to pleasure, right? Pleasure makes you weak. That doesn't mean you can't have joyous moments, but joy and pleasure aren't the same thing. Joy is very natural, spontaneous, and free. Pleasure is mechanical, habitual, and more so forced out of lower vibrations. So, you know, let's look at the recap. Why achievement without alignment feels hollow? Well, it's kind of like, it's almost like driving a car with flat tires. Maybe I'll just drop the mic there, right? Yeah. How to redefine success through fulfillment. This means that you start to see the idea that you thought to be success as hollow. And you realize, oh, wait, there's something that's called wealth, right? And riches are not what you want. Maybe you thought you wanted riches, but then you realize wealth is what you need, right? And within wealth, you could still have material riches. Don't forget that. We're not in this weird pushing away wealth, pushing away money. No, let's learn how to build a business, build a brand, build something that impacts humanity correctly, righteously, and also our hearts. When we do that, this world's gonna change. This world is changing. The golden age. Let's see. Let's see. And ultimately, um, what's the third one? Did I do the third one? What to do to reconnect with meaning. So I would say, look at your life. Look at when you're out of alignment. Look at when you're weak, right? Question yourself. How did you play a role in your weakness? What was the thought pattern that got you to take the weak action? Yeah. What was the environment that led you to the thought pattern that led you to the weak action? All right. I appreciate you. I love you. Big hug. Let's go. Let's go. If you want to learn more, just check the link in the description below. You'll get the details how I can potentially help you be free from anxiety, stress, tension, so you can stop feeling empty inside, so you can have a body that you admire, so your relationships can flourish, so that your family can feel your freedom, and subconsciously, unconsciously, that'll marinate. That'll get to them. I can't promise you when, I can't promise you how, but I can guarantee you that when you do this work, it'll radiate. And you'll notice. You'll notice it radiates. I love you. Let's go.